Hi and welcome back to my channel. I go like a month without recording a video and then I treat you to 2 videos in 1 week. How lucky are you? So this video is all about the mid-year book freakout tag, and I first saw this tag on Savage Reads. I will link his channel down below as well, so you can check his freakout tag out as well. But yeah, there's basically going to be 15 questions about the books I've been reading this year, and I'm going to try and answer them, all of them. So wish me luck. So here we go. Question number 1. How has your reading been so far? Well, actually, this year it's been quite a ride with my reading. I've been reading a lot of fantasy this year, which I'm getting to the point where I need to start reading some more cozy romances or just dipping into some other genres. And I have a few of those in mind that I would like to read coming up for the next bit. Plus I've got Christmas coming up, so there'll be a lot of romance books in the Christmas run up to Christmas that I'll be reading as well. I'm anticipating a lot of Christmas releases, so you know, fingers crossed that I'll find some good gems in there. Question 2. What is the best book you've read so far this year? Well, one of the best books I've read so far this year goes right back to, I think, January or February this year. It was called The Steel Beneath the Silk by Patricia Bracewell. It was a historical fiction book about Emma of Normandy, and she married King Canute. And it was the whole series was such a good series, and the last book in particular was great. And I've just actually found out that she's working on book 4, so I'm really excited about that. I listened to a podcast about it and it's just whetted my appetite for more, so I'm super excited about that. Don't know when that's coming out, hopefully next year or 2027 maybe, I don't know, but I'm keeping a keen eye out for that. Question number 3, best sequel you've read. Okay, so this is a more recent book. This is Of Darkness and Light by Ryan Cahill. It's no secret, if you've been watching this channel for the last couple of months, that I have fallen in love with the Bound and the Broken series. And Of Darkness and Light is probably my favourite book in that series. The ending was like, it was such a cliffhanger, and it was brilliant. The whole book was brilliant. And yeah, so Of Darkness and Light is probably my best sequel this year. Question 4. New release that you've not read but want to. Okay, so this is A Cornish Love Story. Again, it's going to be scratching my cozy romance itch that I've got going on at the moment. As I say, I've been reading a lot of fantasy, and I'm ready for a little bit to take my foot off the pedal for a little while and just enjoy a nice romance. So that is definitely one that is on my list. Question 5. Most anticipated release of the second half of the year. Easy, Skander and the Spirit Wars. It's the last book in the Skander series. Skander is one of my favourite series of all time, right up there now with Eragon. Possibly maybe even like photo finish across the finish line with Eragon, quite frankly, because it's an amazing series. If you've got kids, or even if you just love reading sort of like older children's fiction like Harry Potter or whatever, it is brilliant. It is really good. In fact, I think it's better than Harry Potter. There, it's official. I've said it. Yeah, I do. I think it's better than Harry Potter. So yeah, that 5th and final book is coming, and I've pre-ordered it, and it will be with me, I think, on the 28th of August. And I am ready for it. Whatever I'm reading at the time, if it's not finished, it's going to go on pause. It's going to go on ice, and I'm going to open that book and just sit down and read it. Yeah, really looking forward to that one. Number 6. What was the biggest disappointment of the year so far? That was easy too. This was the only book that came to mind. There was a book I read not too long ago called, well, I didn't actually read it. It was a DNF. But it was called A Fate Inked in Blood. I can't remember who it was by now, but I tried to read it. I had high hopes for it. It was Norse inspired. It was about magic, gods gifting people magic, set in sort of like fantasy world, Norse inspired fantasy world. But I just could not get get into it. And since then I've seen kind of like a mixed bag of reviews. There are some people who kind of agree with what I said about it. There are some people who absolutely loved it. I'm just really sorry I was not one of those people. I did say, and I still stand by this, that I will be giving it another go. I'm just not sure when, and it probably won't be this year. But I do want to give it another go. I want to give it another chance, because when I DNF a book, I don't just like forget about it. I do want to go back, try it again, because sometimes I wonder if it's not me that's the problem, and I'm just not in a good place not in the right place to read that book at the time. So I will be happy to give that book another go. But yeah, so far that's the biggest disappointment this year. I'm not saying there won't be more, but so far that's it. Number 7, what is the biggest surprise of the year so far? Well, my biggest surprise was Heidi Swain's The Holiday Escape, mostly because I was expecting one thing and the book kind of came as something slightly different from what I was expecting. Heidi Swain is usually a cosy, sweet, closed door kind of romance kind of thing, but this was a little bit more sex on the page, and it's not something I'm comfortable with reading, so that kind of like I skipped a lot of the pages, and it just wasn't as good as her usual cozy stories. So yeah, that was a big surprise for me. Question 8, who is your new favourite author? Well, based on authors just this year, I will go with Ryan Cahill. He was the one that I kind of started reading this year that I'd never read before. I've been wanting to read, like from last year. I saw Of Blood and Fire kind of pop up on Instagram and stuff like that, and I was like, oh, I really like the look of that, really like the sound of that, but I never found the time until this year to start reading. And yeah, I just love The Bound and the Broken, love the stories, love the world he's created, love the characters he's created. The next few questions are all going to be answers from the Bound and the Broken series, so spoiler alert. Who is your favourite fictional crush? I don't generally have fictional crushes, but if I had to pick one, it would be Dana Terrace from the Bound and the Broken series. I just love him. His chapters are the ones I want to go back to. An honourable mention from that series would also be Darlin Veranda from that series as well, because those are the two characters whose chapters I am just itching to get back to. They have this. Those characters are so loyal. They're so good, but they're also kind of like morally grey as well, especially Dane. But yeah, I just love his reaction to things as well. He makes me laugh. Number 10, who is your new favourite fictional character? This would be Belina from the Bound and the Broken series. I love her. She is kind of like an assassin character, but she has such an acerbic wit. She's quick with swords, quick with words, quick with feet, hands, anything she can use as a weapon, she will use as a weapon. But her sense of humour, I just love the banter she has with all the characters around her. And she's another character that I just want to read more of. And I'm really hoping that if he does another spin-off or another novella or another short story, that we might learn more about her. So yeah. Number 11, a book that made you cry. Now, if you'd asked me this last year, I would have said any book from the Scanda series that I'd read last year, because those books always make me cry. So far this year, no book has made me cry. However, I do anticipate the next Scanda book, The Spirit Wars, is going to make me cry, because without fail, I've pretty much cried in 3 out of the 4 books I've read so far. So I do not doubt that Scanda will make me cry, but so far, no book has made me cry yet. Number 12, what is a book that made you happy? Well, that's The Cherry Tree Café, and that was a Heidi Swain book, and that was perfect because it was cosy, it had lovely characters in it, had a lovely setting, it had lovely character arc growths and all that kind of stuff, all the stuff I looked for in a Heidi Swain book, it had down to a T, and I loved that book, and it was just so cozy, it made me really happy to read. So yeah, The Cherry Tree Café. Number 13, what is the most beautiful book you've bought this year? A Language of Dragons by S.F. Williamson. This is, I mean, the cover alone is just beautiful, but when you open it up, take this off, hold on one sec, hold on, let's do this properly. because it is a beautiful book and it does need to be looked at. I mean, look at that gold foiling. I don't think I've owned a book this beautiful, well, ever, really. I don't know if that's the same picture, but yeah, again, beautiful. And it's just, I just love it. It's just like the artwork that went into that is superb. I bought this earlier in the year. I still haven't read it. This will probably be one of my books next year to read. I'm very much looking forward to this. But yeah, I haven't read that yet because I've been reading, well, I blame Ryan Cahill because I've been reading all his books this year. So let me put that back there we go. Okay. What books do you need to read by the end of the year? Well, apart from the fact that these are all library books, which I need to read to get back to the library before I incur fines or run out of the amount of times I can actually renew them, I'm really interested to read this one. This is about Matilda. It's about Princess Matilda, who was part of the anarchy in English history. She fought her cousin Stephen. She was fighting him for the throne. She had a claim to the throne. He thought he had a claim to the throne, and they ended up having, I think it was about a 20-year period of war between them, which was known as the anarchy in English history. So that would be quite an interesting book. So that's one of my books. Another one is The Children of Gods and Fighting Men. Again, this has a Norse leaning, but also lots of magic in it. So I'm quite intrigued by this one and looking forward to that one. That's the first in a trilogy, I think. And then this one as well, The Witch's Heart. Again, this has some Norse fantasy. It's inspired by Norse fantasy as well. It's about Angrboda, who I believe is Gulvig. So yeah, it's just yeah, it's something that I'm interested in. It's got Loki, Odin, all the gods and that. So yeah, I'll be very interested to read that as well. Any plans? So the last question, number 15. Any plans for the rest of your reading year ahead? Well, apart from reading the books that I've already mentioned, I don't really have any plans other than to enjoy what I read, make time for what I read, make sure that I make time for what I read, and just basically enjoy myself. If I'm not enjoying a book, I do plan to DNF a little bit more, but it's not definitely a DNF. It's kind of like a DNF for now. So it's like, you know, if I do DNF, it's something I'm going to go back to maybe next year or in a couple of months or something. But yeah, apart from that, they are my plans to just keep enjoying what I'm reading and maybe dip into a few more other genres as well. I'm got a book up there also from the library called Blood Roses, which is a crime book set in World War II. Well, at the beginning of World War II in 1939, so I'm quite interested in that. I do like crime, and I am interested in World War II, so it's something that I would like to read. But yeah, apart from that, that's it. That's my mid-year book freak out tag questions answered. If you want to take part, feel free to copy the questions. I'll leave them down below. Copy the questions, answer them, and I'll check your video out as well. And yeah, until next time, have a great week. See you later. Bye.